We continue to talk about this extraordinary first meeting with the Democratic leaders and President Trump, first meeting since the election when the Democrats won back the House. And as we predicted, the Democratic leaders felt that they successfully baited the president into saying he would be proud about a shutdown, made it easier, they think, to label it a Trump shutdown, which, as you said, Olivier, is right on. That's what kind of lit the match in the Oval Office in the first place, rhetorically, when she called it a Trump shutdown in front of the president in the Oval Office. And they laid down the marker for what's going to happen over the next 2 weeks. I don't want to get too much into the weeds into what he was talking about, whether it's going to be a funding bill that's going to go for a whole year or they're going to agree to the numbers now, because I think what matters, again, in the big picture is how much the Democrats are going to be driving this train. Yeah. And they think that they are.
Yeah, and I was going to say before they came out that this meeting didn't go as President Trump planned, and it was even more clear after they came to the cameras that a very relatively brief meeting, which didn't seem to last very long, did not clarify anything in terms of how we can get to a solution to this problem. And in fact, President Trump had brought the press in an effort to do what he did the last time around when it came to immigration. He brought the press into the meeting. He made it seem as if he was coming to the table trying to get a compromise, trying to do whatever was going to work so that he could get something of a PR boost going into the meeting, framing the terms of the conversation. But instead what happened was that he was basically provoked by Nancy Pelosi calling it a Trump shutdown and ended the conversation by giving the Democrats exactly what they sought by going into this meeting, which is by saying, this is going to be my shutdown. I'm President Trump. I'm going to own this. What you're seeing now is, I think the Democrats making it very clear that they have the power here in this relationship right now, and that President Trump needs to come back to the table with a different proposal. And President Trump, frankly, wasn't prepared to do that. This was a PR effort, and it didn't go as planned. And I think they're probably going to have to go back to the drawing board on both the substance and on the strategy for messaging this to the country.
In fairness to the president, yes, he walked into what they believe is their trap on the shutdown. But in fairness to the president, he doesn't see it that way. And when I say fairness, there's a new poll out by NPR and PBS asking the question, President Trump should he compromise on the border wall to prevent gridlock? Overall, 57% say yes, but if you look at Republicans, only 29%. So just remember his mindset. Yeah. It is still about the GOP, not the overall.
And remember that he's a president who's got an eye on his reelection campaign already. And so you could sort of see the political dynamic there for him of wanting to keep the Republican base strongly behind him, which is, as that polling suggests, maybe this is a good path. On the other hand, if you're a Republican leader in Congress, you just saw an election in which that strategy did not work. I'm putting it mildly. And so you've got to be wondering, okay, is this what he's going to do for the next couple of years as his election ramps up? But I can see the political rationale there.
Yeah, presidents are always running the last campaign. So he looks back, he says, I came down that golden escalator and I started talking about immigration and talking about a wall and I won. And as he sees it, and they sort of gotten a little bit of a tiff about this in the Oval Office, he feels like he won the Senate with that very same strategy, and never mind the House. And then they argued a little bit about that. So he thinks that this immigration thing works for him. But if he goes 4 years without a wall, that would be a problem, which is in some part why he is probably claiming that the wall is being built already and sort of rebranding. However this comes out, it's likely he will rebrand it to say that he got what he wanted.
Exactly, and that's what he was trying to do by talking about parts of the wall already being built. He was already trying to rebrand or redefine the debate for himself and for his base. And he did, even through the crossfire, he was trying to, sound like he could have conversations about this. He was defensive in some parts, but not others. But I do think that when we look back on this, this is going to be the Democrats showing up early and showing him and showing their base that they're going to stand up to this president.
Yeah. The immigration thing, I think if you look overall, didn't work out for him, by the way, in the election. So,
no, of course.
No, I know that. But I'm not sure, I agree with you, I'm not sure he gets it. But you know, since the president has been in, the Democrats, even when they were in the minority, have outmaneuvered him on appropriations. It's like the White House doesn't understand how the appropriations process works. And Nancy Pelosi is a veteran of the Appropriations Committee. She really knows how to work this thing.
Cut her teeth.
And the dirty little secret is that the Republicans want to gang up on the president with the Democrats on appropriations because they want to get the things that they want. The president caused this problem for himself. They gave him his budget request of $1.6 billion, basically, in these bills. And for political reasons, he wants to say, I got $5 billion, because he's been being shut out on the appropriations bills. And now they're like, well, we really don't have to give you this. And plus, on top of that, how many times did Nancy Pelosi say Trump shut down in that stakeout? You've given us this great gift of taking over the shutdown. I think the White House has got some real issues here.
Yeah, then the big problem also is that a shutdown is not going to make it more likely that President Trump will get his wall money. It's going to create a huge political problem, and then he's going to go into another Congress where Democrats are going to be in control.